welcome to the podcast for When the Curves Line Up for August 18, 2023. Please see the article that includes diagrams of today's events on the website. Text by Jeffrey L. Hunt. In Chicago, sunrise occurs at 6:02 a.m. Central Daylight Time, followed by sunset at 7:47 p.m. Here is today's planet forecast. In the morning sky. An hour before sunrise, bright Jupiter is high in the southeastern sky. It is slowly moving eastward in front of Aries, 13.3 degrees to the lower left of Hammel, the pattern's brightest star, and 11.3 degrees to the upper left of Menkar, in Cetus. Notice the Pleiades to Jupiter's left and Aldebaran, with the Hyades star cluster, to the planet's lower left. Through a spotting scope or telescope, notice that Jupiter appears to have added a fifth bright satellite. This morning, an object slightly brighter than the other moons, appears to the east of the Jovian giant, in the same orbital plane as Callisto, Europa, and Ganymede. In the Americas during morning twilight, the moon Io is behind the planet. The planet's four largest and brightest moons were first observed by Galileo in 1610 and aptly named the Galilean satellites. This apparently bright, new Galilean satellite is a distant star that happens to appear in the same line of sight as other moons. The star, Sigma Arietis, Sigma Ari on the chart that is in the article, is nearly 500 light-years away, compared to Jupiter's 435 million-mile distance. During the next week, Jupiter slowly moves past the distant star, so, in this brief encounter, the new moon seems to revolve toward the west. Robert C. Victor, retired staff astronomer at Abrams Planetarium, Michigan State University, and frequent collaborator on the Venus rising and setting charts that appear here, first noted this line-of-sight event in his August astronomy column. At approximately 80x magnification through a telescope, Jupiter's cloud bands are visible, along with the Galilean satellites. The clouds appear in lines parallel to the equator, whipped in that fashion by the planet's rapid rotation. Depending on Jupiter's location in the sky, the bands can be tilted. Through the telescopic eyepiece, the moon's orbital paths are lined up with the equator, making it reasonably easy to identify them from distant stars that appear in the field of view regardless of the angle we see the planet in the sky. Because the orbital planes are along our line of sight, we see the moon seem to shuttle back and forth during several nights, centered on Jupiter. Simply draw an imaginary line along the planet's equator and extend it to both sides of the planet. Any dimmer star-like body along that line is likely one of the brighter moons. Callisto, Jupiter's outermost Galilean satellite, revolves around the planet in about 17 days, while Io, the innermost bright moon, motors around the planet about every 2 days. During the next week Sigma Arietis appears, while much farther away, along Jupiter's equatorial plane, giving the illusion of a fifth bright Galilean satellite. Jupiter begins to retrograde on September 4th. When Jupiter appears to move past the star again, September 11th through September 22nd, the star comes into view again through the telescopic eyepiece, but it is clearly not aligned with the equatorial plane. Jupiter passes 0.1 degrees south of the star on the 18th, so the illusion does not work the second time. When Jupiter resumes its eastward trek during 2024, it passes the star again March 21st, 0.5 degrees to the north. The pair tightly fits into that 80x magnification eyepiece, without the Galilean satellite illusion that occurs beginning tonight. This morning during twilight, Saturn is in the southwestern sky. Its retrograde continues. Find the ringed wonder less than 20 degrees up in the southwest. From regions that suffer from the perpetual glow of outdoor lighting, Aquarius stars are likely washed out by that veil. With a binocular find Saturn, 7.9 degrees to the right of Skate, the Aquarian's leg, and 7.5 degrees to the lower right of Lambda Aquarii. Lambda Acra on the chart that is in the article. The trio nearly makes an equilateral triangle. After inferior conjunction, about a week ago, Venus is racing into the morning sky. This morning it rises 19 minutes before the sun and appears over 3 degrees above the eastern horizon. Anxious sky watchers with exceptional views of the eastern horizon can attempt their first view with a binocular this morning. For others, the first easy view occurs on the 22nd. Venus gains 6 to 7 minutes of rising time each morning, and by then, it rises 49 minutes before daybreak. In the evening sky, Mercury retreats into bright twilight, setting 41 minutes after the sun. 30 minutes after nightfall, the speedy planet is about 2 degrees above the horizon, a difficult location to find it. Attempt to see the crescent moon, 6% illuminated, with a binocular. Mercury is 6.1 degrees below the moon. This twilight is bright. Find a clear horizon and attempt this view. If the sky is exceptionally clear, Mars is 1.1 degrees to the lower left of the crescent, for those sky watchers already missing it. If the red planet is not visible, wait another 10 minutes for another attempt. It is fainter than might be expected. Try again at 5-minute intervals, until the planet sets 72 minutes after sunset. The sky grows darker, but Mars and the moon are lower at each interval. When the moon comes through next month, Mars sets about 45 minutes after sunset. This evening might be the last opportunity to see the red planet, with the moon acting as the celestial marker to find it. As opposition nears, Saturn rises 22 minutes after sunset this evening. This countdown continues until the night of the 26th to 27th, when Earth passes between the ringed wonder and the sun. Then each evening, the planet is higher in the sky as night falls. By 2 hours after sundown, the planet is over 15 degrees above the east-southeast horizon. Look for Lambda Aquarii, 7.6 degrees to Saturn's lower left. Skate is not high enough to see easily. By tomorrow morning, Saturn and the 3 stars are in the southwestern sky again. Jupiter, rising before midnight in most areas, appears above the eastern horizon less than 3 hours after Saturn rises. By tomorrow morning, the Jovian giant is in the southeastern sky. Take a look to where that extra Galilean satellite appears. Thank you for listening. Please read the articles at whenthecurveslineup.com.